Hi, my name is Jim Beckwith, and I'd like to spend the next few minutes showing you my 4 steps to making clear sounding chords on the guitar. These are the same 4 steps that I've been showing my students for the last 30 years. And there's at least a couple of them that I don't see emphasized, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up a few new ideas during this video. Before I begin, however, I would like to go ahead and go over some of the basics, just in case you've been living in a cave or you've started completely from scratch. The first basic idea that you probably know, but I'm going over, involves your guitar. You need to have extra light gauge strings. These are the thinnest strings possible and will make it easiest for you to press down. So ask for extra light gauge strings if you're not sure of what you have on your guitar. The second thing is to check your action. This is how high your strings are off the neck. If your strings are too high, it's going to be very hard to press down. So ask for extra light strings and low action on your guitar, and that will make it as easy as possible. The second thing, this again is a basic thing, is to just put your fingers as close behind the frets as possible. This gives you the best leverage and gives you the clearest note. You don't have to obsess over it. Just get them as close as you reasonably can. Sometimes you won't be able to get them perfectly. The final thing, of course, is you have to press hard enough. If you're not pressing hard enough, you won't get the pressure to make a clear note. So basically go for light strings and low action, press hard enough, and try and get your fingers as close behind the frets as you can. And that really sets up the basics that pretty much everyone talks about. Now I'm going to my 4 steps. Alright, the first step, which I really haven't seen emphasized too much, is to pinch the neck. What this means is you need to hold your palm away from the neck. You need to keep your thumb and fingers straight and not grip the neck like a rifle. After pinching the neck, it gives you the best angle for your fingers. A lot of people try and choke up on the neck and grip it really close, but that just totally screws up the angle of your fingers. So make sure the best way to get this position is do what I just did here and hold your thumb and your first finger out as much as possible and get them straight and just chomp the neck like that. That's the first step. Pinch the neck. Don't grip it like a baseball bat. Okay, now for the second tip. The second tip you see a lot, so it's not so exclusive. It's basically to arch your fingers. You want to curl your fingers so they come down as straight as possible on the neck. Again, you don't have to obsess over it, just do the best you can, but you don't want to try and have your fingers flatten out across like this. Try and arch your fingers and curl them so they come straight down as possible. This will put a little extra load on your fingers, so that's where the practice comes in to strengthen them. So arch your fingers, that's step number 2. Okay, the third tip that I have, and again this is one that I've not seen emphasized very much, is to angle your finger towards the headstock. This will improve the profile of your finger. A lot of times when you press down, your finger kind of spreads out and muffles the strings around it. So angling, look at the pictures very closely, and angling your finger towards the headstock will kind of improve the angle of your fingers and make the adjacent strings clearer. It also helps you a lot with bar chords because it eliminates the ridges between your knuckles. When you are putting like this, your finger is crooked, and when you're angling it more straight towards the edge, it's a lot straighter and a lot harder and everything. You make a better bar. So the third step is to angle your hand towards the headstock. Okay, the fourth and last tip, again this is fairly common, is to adjust one finger at a time as you're making your chord and check as you're going, because a lot of times you can adjust one finger and it will be fine, and then it will throw the other fingers out. So you want to go ahead and adjust one finger at a time and correct everything. A lot of people will just put their fingers down and whang away as hard as they can and wonder why it sounds so bad, but be delicate when you play and correct a finger and then double check all your other strings and recorrect those if you have to. You may wind up, especially if you have thick fingers, you may wind up with just millimeters to really place your fingers correctly, but you can do it. So the last step is to correct and adjust one finger at a time as you're making your chord. Well, that about wraps up this video. I hope it's helped you out in your quest to make cleaner sounding chords, and remember, if all else fails, trim your fingernails. You can also check out my website, which will link you to my book for adult beginners. It's called No Fail Guitar. It's available on Amazon. This book concentrates on the main problem most beginners have, which is switching chords and strumming at the same time. So if this fits your description, you might want to check it out. So that's the plug. Thanks for watching.